And the 3 layers represented that he was ruler of heaven, ruler of earth, and ruler of, does anybody know the other one? Purgatory. How do you like that? Purgatory, not even in the Bible, purgatory is, but he was ruler of heaven, earth, and purgatory. Three layers. And on the mitre, or the crown, there was an inscription on it. Now you notice I used the word he used to wear. The reason he doesn't wear it anymore, I wonder what that could be. Probably because of seminars like this. These kind of seminars are going on everywhere. And it's been sort of a thing where you would, if you had a crown like that, you'd hide it. Don't believe me, after hearing a seminar like this. But on the inscription, on this 3-tiered mitre, were the words Vicarius Filii Dei. I hope somebody has a calculator here. If you don't, well, maybe on your cell phone you got a calculator. And Vicarius Filii Dei means vicar of the Son of God in English, but that's a Latin word. And in fact, right from our Sunday Visitor, which is a Catholic publication, here's an admission from 1915. That little publication said, the letters on the Pope's crown are these: Vicarius Filii Dei. All right? Now, how many of you remember in school learning about Roman numerals and their numeric value? Do you remember that? Okay, what does an I represent? It represents a 1. Yep. It represents a 1. I'm sorry. And then the next letter that has numeric value would be a V, right? V represents 5. And also the U. Now, do you know what a U represents? It represents 5 because it's spelled with a V. How many of you look at the courthouses where they write down their Latin? They're all in Roman letters. When they come to a U, it's spelled with a V, isn't it? That represents the same as a V. It's a numeric value of 5. And what's our next letter? An X. That'd be 10. Okay. The next one is an L, I believe. 50. And then we go to a C, 100. And then we go up to a D, and 500. And we can go on with the M, which is 1,000. But we don't have those. And there's no M in there. And so if you take your calculator and you add up the letters in Vicarius Filii Dei, what do you suppose the total comes to? Well, you guessed it. Yeah, V. You've already got you already have the guy identified. Here's a little bit of, you guys that have understanding now. Let me throw this in to confirm it. In fact, that's not the only place this happens. Go to verse. I think this is in your lesson. Chapter 17 and verse 9, a little more extra credit. Real quickly, Revelation 17:9 says, now the 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. Speaking of this beast power, the 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. Now, woman represents a what? A church. And the woman's sitting on a beast. She's riding a beast. A beast represents a nation. So this would represent a nation being controlled by a church. Now, what nation is controlled by a church? Vatican City, right? Rome. Okay. Vatican City. Now, if I'd asked you to tell me what's the windy city? Chicago. Yeah, he used to live around there, right? Chicago. Okay, if I asked you what's the city of angels? Okay, now what's the city of the 7 hills? Rome. Everybody knows that. You punch the city of 7 hills in the computer. Rome is the city of 7 hills. Okay, there's a little extra credit there too, isn't it? Now, you know, we're not trying to be derogatory against a denomination or anything, but we do want to be accountable with Bible truth, right? The Bible teaches not to bow down to images, doesn't it? Well, the Catholic Church respectfully teaches it is okay, and for certain instances, to bow down and pay homage to statues. And you can see that if you go over to Mexico. You don't see a whole lot of it in the United States, although you do see it. But if you go to Europe, they're kissing toes on statues, and this is a very well-established practice. The Bible teaches that all have sinned, but the Catholic Church teaches that Mary is sinless too, and she is also a co-redeemer with Christ. Jesus is taught as the only mediator. We've mentioned that, 1 Timothy 2:5. But the Catholic Church teaches that Mary is as a co-mediator with Christ. Are you aware of that? Maybe some of you have Catholic background. Yeah, Hail Mary. You can pray to Mary even. Yes, right. Oh, they sure do. Christ is in the Bible. It teaches that Christ's blood was offered how many times? Once for all. Well, the Catholic Church teaches that each time Mass is participated in every Sunday, they're actually converting the body and blood of Christ into these sacraments that they partake of in the Mass. Every week, they said he's being He's being crucified and sacrificed again. The Bible teaches that all Christians are saints and priests, but of course the Catholic Church teaches that's a certain level of authority that is only granted by the church itself. Now the Bible tells us, Jesus himself tells us, to call no man on earth Father, right? Our Father. I do still have a good friend. He's a Catholic priest. His name is Patrick Henry. And I always call him Patrick. How do you think he likes that? Yeah, he says, he finally one time he said to me, he says, call me Father. And I said, well, I can't do that. Jesus says, and I guess it's Matthew 23, call no man on earth your father. For there's one Father in heaven. He's your Father in heaven. And so what it's really saying is don't call any spiritual leader Father. I can call my dad Father, can I? I'm not saying he's a spiritual leader. He's my dad, Father. He was disturbed by me calling him Patrick, obviously, because I do it in front of other people, you know. I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't. Jesus says don't. Now I got to just make a decision. Do I follow Jesus? And you've got to make the same decision. Do you follow Jesus or do you follow man? You know, it's a hard decision to make right in front of the Catholic priest when he's asking you to call him Father. Do you want to start an argument and say, well, you know, I'm going to go with Jesus here? Well, that's what we should do, right? That's right. That's right. And Jesus, that's right. Yeah, that's blasphemy. To put yourself and take the prerogatives of God is a form of blasphemy. Purgatory, limbo, prayers for the dead, none of those are in the Bible. And in our last text, Revelation 18:4, the Bible is calling us, it's by saying, come out of her, my people. Do you notice that Jesus, the Bible, calls people who are practicing things that are not biblical or not correct, they're not keeping the commandments, he calls them my people. Come out of her, my people. Come out of Babylon, which is spiritual adultery. It's commandment breakers. He's inviting them to come out, my people. So we're saying that that's why this message is going out. For people who are in this system, come out of her and join the group who are called commandment keepers. Now we know who the beast is, right? Are we all clear on that? We know who the beast is. We've established who the beast is. What is his mark? Well, you'll have to come next week or next time, and we'll be studying the mark of the beast. So be here next time, and we've got the beast figured out, and now we'll figure out what the mark is.